So some of the social and emotional characteristics of the U8s, boys and girls alike, defining likes and dislikes. I like soccer. I don't like basketball, whatever. They're starting, or I like to play forward. I don't like to play defense because they like to score. Um, and friendship is important. They like being with their buddies. Play needs a purpose. Although we still at this point at U8 do not start keeping score in the games. It's a little bit more like soccer, real soccer. Afraid of failure, need for honesty training, telling tall tales, and also conversely the sense of fairness. Everything's got to be really fair for these kids. Starting to compare themselves to others. I'm not as good as that person, etc. All of these you'll find with the U8 kids. So the U8's social and emotional characteristics, they're becoming more social with one another, interact with one another more than they used to when they were younger. They're still cooperative with adults. They're not in the disruptive or defiant stage yet. They want to be part of the group. That's why being on the team is really important to them. And again, all of these just keep in mind as you're out there making your calls or deciding not to make your calls. So the U8s are starting to understand what's right and what's wrong, and the laws of the game in soccer are pretty much based on what's right and what's wrong, or what's safe and what isn't safe, and what's fair and what isn't fair. So safe, fair, and fun. Again, we come back to that as the overriding concepts for how to referee a game and how soccer should be played. U8s can solve some problems, but problem solving, as you know, takes time, and eventually the kids figure it out over time. The team concept, we talked about that they like to be part of the team, and the uniform colors and the team name, that's all becoming real important. And understanding the viewpoint of others, that's maybe a hard concept. I'm not sure if I agree with that, but it's here anyway, so keep it in mind. This slide really goes to the whole fairness concept and the sense of fairness that these kids sense. Everything's got to be fair. If something's not right, every mistake is a major crime. That's a pretty good comment there in the slide. Rigidly interprets ideas of justice and fair play. If they think there's a foul and you don't call it, they may get pretty upset about that. But just let them know, hey, we're just letting the game flow. If nobody gets hurt, it's okay, and we're not keeping score here at the U8 level. So, just to recap, these are all the things you're going to see with the U8 players that build on what you see with the U6 players. So let's talk about the U10s. And the U10 is the division where we start keeping score formally. It's competitive. There are standings. At the end of the year, there are playoffs. And that coincides with the development of the U10 players. They're more interested in competition and scorekeeping. And the U10s are probably more interested individually on soccer as a sport and them becoming better soccer players. And which is good. Their attention span is starting to increase. They're starting to be more aware of what they can and can't do. They're more aware of their shortcomings and are going to want to improve their shortcomings. Physical touching. We talked about this a little bit in Safe Haven, or you learned about it in Safe Haven, but some of them may accept it, but others may reject it and respect that one way or the other, what happens. Now this slide shows some of the other characteristics of the U10 players, which in my opinion aren't that much different from the slides that show the U8 players, but kids get their feelings hurt easily. They need reinforcement. Pat them on the back. If they do something good, tell them that it's good, because they probably get told their mistakes more than enough. So tell them that they're doing a good job in something. Group acceptance, being part of the team. They want to be liked by their peers, by their teammates. So again, keep that in mind. So here's some more information on the U10 players. Cause and effect. The concept of cause and effect. They can understand that. If you pass the ball to the open player can score, that type of thing. So just broad concepts of cause and effect. If you kick the ball on one side of your foot, it goes this way. If you kick it on the other side of the foot, it goes that way. And they're also going to want to understand why some of the laws are the way they are. And a lot of them don't really make logical sense, but just that they're in the rules. Like, why do we need to do a throw-in the way we do a throw-in? Well, it's just really to get the ball back into play. But you may have to explain some rules to the U10 players, and that's a good thing. At least it shows that they're interested in soccer and why the laws are the way they are. So remember that the title of this lesson is Understanding Younger Players. So we've just gone through talking about the U8s, U6s, U8s, and U10s and what these kids are like. So in this next part here, we're going to talk about how to take what we've learned about all those younger kids and how to use that information to make ourselves a better referee, how to talk about how to deal with the parents, how to deal with the coaches, and how to deal with the kids on the team and individually. So let's get going with that. Dealing with coaches and spectators. The first line here, use the AYSO team concept to enlist cooperation. Remember the triangle that we showed you before? Certainly the coaches have seen that. The spectators probably haven't seen that. But the point of it is that all of the adults there are there to help the kids. So if you get into a trouble situation, remind the coach, remind the spectator that it's about the kids. It's not about we adults. Remain calm and professional. You're the professional out there. You're the adult among the kids, and in other words, the players on the field. And sometimes you have to be the adult among the spectators and among the coaches as well. Keep cool, maintain control of your emotions. Intervene early to prevent an escalation. In other words, if you feel like there's a problem that's about to start, maybe an early intervention. Keep your wits about you, a smile or a wink or a look. Shh, go like that with your hands. Keep focused. Keep the adults focused on creating an enjoyable experience for the players. Remember, it's all about the kids. It's not about the adults. And remain as the adult. You're the referee. You've been trained. You know what you're doing. You're good at it, or at least you will be good at it with some experience. But let's keep it focused on the kids. That's the overriding concept of this slide. And keeping in mind who you're dealing with. Kids that are developing, their emotions, their physical abilities are developing. So just keep all that in mind as you're out there on the pitch.